Welcome to Madlit Musings, the podcast where you get to eavesdrop on your favorite authors without getting caught. I've been stoked to have authors like Angela Hunt, Bill Myers, Nicole Deese, Tessa Afshar, comedian Bob Smiley, and more on the show, and this year I have another great lineup of storytellers and truth-sayers. If you love to eavesdrop at coffee shops like I do, this is the podcast for you. It's where we get real, we get tough, we laugh, and we might even cry. It's where we meet authors on a different level, where every story and podcast episode has its own heartbeat. So hang out with me today. I'm Jaime Jo Wright, your host at Madlit Musings. This is your podcast for real chats with real authors about real life. Today's episode was brought to you by Baker Publishing Group, with Ravel and Bethany House Publishing as divisions. We're super excited to be sponsored by Baker Publishing Group and to bring you their fabulous authors and their fabulous lineup for 2025. Be sure to check them out at bakerpublishinggroup.com and also check out their online bookstore at bakerbookhouse.com. Hi everyone, it's Jaime Jo Wright here today, and I have with me again Robin Jones Gunn. I love it when you're on, Robin. I love chatting with you.
So do I. We should tell everybody that we were talking a little bit too much before we hit the record button. We made ourselves laugh so hard. We're both a little teary.
I know. We look a little weepy. We're really not. We're not emotional.
Well, to our own private little giggle sessions. We're so glad you're here.
We're very glad you're here. And unfortunately, you missed the raucous laughter that had tears streaming down our faces. But now we are composed professional writers with inspirational words for you all today. Don't get the giggles on me, Robin. This is going to be bad. Oh boy.
I think we have to disclose. So what happened was we're talking about which one of the Suitcase Sister books we're going to talk about. And today we are going to talk about, eventually, Gelato at the Villa, which is set in Italy. And I was telling Jaime Jo that I had just recently finished the third book in the series. So now we're going to talk about the second one, but my brain is sort of still in the country of the third one, yet to be revealed.
Right.
And so she was saying that, gelato, I'm hungry now. And I said, my editor said, she thinks she gained 3 pounds just reading Gelato at the Villa because of the cooking class and all the pasta and all the gelato. So maybe your next book should be Vegetables in Greece, which I thought, who would buy that? And she meant the country Greece. Then we started thinking about Mediterranean diets in Greece. It wasn't a very good title. So we're happy to be talking about Gelato at the Villa.
And not vegetables
we're in Italy.
Coagulated pools of Greece.
Ciao, baby.
Woo! Well, I love gelato. My favorite flavor when I was in Italy was pistachio. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I do like pistachio, but I really like just trying all of them.
Well, yes.
And coming up with sort of the characters in the book have sort of a rating system. Well, what did you think of that one? What about this? Oh, I wouldn't repeat that, but next time I'm getting this. So yeah. They give us a full report.
So did you go to this? I mean, nothing's as good as Italian gelato, but did you go to the store and get every flavor of gelato you could find in the frozen section and try it?
No, I had vivid memories of the 2 or 3 trips to Italy over my lifetime. Okay. So, that's pretty funny because I've only actually been to the country twice. Mm-hmm. But I think this book made me feel like I went a third time.
It's fair.
But
it's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I really remembered. And even when I went in college with my girlfriends, there was a place in Florence called Vivoli's that we loved. And my girlfriends and I still keep in contact. Mm-hmm. And we still say to each other, we'll always have Vivoli's.
Oh,
one of my friends, she's scraping the bottom of the cup going, it's over.
I know.
Go to the next city, but we do have a really nice gelato place, maybe 3 miles from us.
Okay.
So throughout the process of writing the book, I did have some research breaks.
Yeah, it's kind of necessary. There's sacrifices to be made.
I want it to be authentic. Right?
Yes. Yes. There's sacrifice. She's like washing off her keyboard from the drips of
Yeah,
gelato as she's writing.
pretty much.
I don't know what it is about gelato, and we will talk about the book too, but right now I'm stuck on gelato. I don't know why it tastes better in Italy. I don't know if it's because Italians make it better or if it's just because I was in Italy when I was eating it.
All of it. And the milk, the cows, the
Yes.
ingredients, all that. Just like the wheat is different
Hmm.
in Italy without the pesticides, I guess. And
Right,
so
right,
when they make bread and you taste it, you go, oh, that's what bread tastes like. I
right.
wondered.
I know. Us Americans, we just don't understand food.
No.
You don't understand it till you go to Europe. Okay, so Grace and Claire, they were in a tea for elephants, or tea with elephants. I guess the elephants aren't drinking tea. A tea with them, not for them.
So I've chosen a new set of characters, and I'll do that
Oh,
for each
okay.
of the Suitcase Sister books.
That was my bad.
So
Sorry.
the two characters in this book are friends that met through a book. It was really fun to kind of dream up this meeting. They're at a local coffee shop, and Grace is leaving with her coffee, ready to go to work, and she sees a woman reading a book that she just finished the night before.
Oh,
And so she
fun.
goes kind of, do I leave? And she just says, excuse me, but I just read that book.
Yeah.
And they started this conversation, and now the story, Gelato at the Villa, takes place, I think it's 12 years later, but they've
Okay.
developed a friendship over books.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in all the Suitcase Sister books, that there's something about books that draws them together.
Oh, I love that.
I
I love
know it's
that.
really fun to incorporate that.
Right, right. Yeah, for some reason I didn't realize, you're right though, but they are a different set of women, and I didn't realize they were going to be different for each location. So that's kind of neat because you get to learn new characters and new life stories too.
Right, and I needed them to be able to have different problems,
Hmm.
and if we solve some life issues in one book, I felt like, okay, you're good. Next, let's see another, because that age group, to get those women when they're 30, late 30s, early 40s, and it's like, oh, wow, I'm at this place in my life and
Hmm.
nothing is really the way I thought it was going to be.
Hmm.
And they start to sift out what really matters.
Yeah.
And so if you take them out of their routine, put them in another situation, which
Hmm.
these books do, another part of the world, and they're caught off balance, but they also really open their hearts to each other.
Hmm.
They're sharing hotel rooms, talking late
Yeah.
into the night. They're on train rides. They're, you know, reacting to the things around them in different ways, and really get to know each other. And
Yeah.
those friendships are what I wanted to focus on, the value, the importance of women to have those anchor friendships.
Right, right, right. And so do they just decide to go on vacation together, or what sends them to Italy?
They are in that place of life where they are free. They both have jobs. They both can do this, and they can go somewhere.
Okay.
But for so many years, they just sit in the armchair and read about it, and then get together at the coffee shop and talk about it. And they just sort of looked at each other like, we life is going fast. We need to actually go somewhere and do something.
Yeah.
And Claire really wanted to take a cooking class in Tuscany. That's
Oh.
like a dream.
Hmm.
Please, can we? And it, yeah, it just sort of tumbled out. And they said, well, actually, we could do that if we got organized and planned it and
Yeah.
have a few garage sales to get a little extra money. And so they did. And and of course, never regretted it. It was life changing for both of
Right. Right. Oh, that's super fun. Super cool. And my sister-in-law and I did that kind of where we were hanging out in her back patio. This was just before I ended up having kids, and we were talking about traveling, and I said, "Well, why don't we just go?" And she's like, "We really could, couldn't we?" And I'm like,
them. Yeah.
right. We just need a passport. And so we did. We ended up in Europe for 3 weeks and just backpacked. And we were in Tuscany. We did the Tuscan things. So I'm excited to read this one because I'm like, there's two things aside from the traditional Tuscany memories that most people have that I remember. One is we were caught in a rainstorm when we were in some random old village. And so we ducked into this little cafe that was kind of a mom and pop. And I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry. And the food on the menu was so non-lunch. Like, I didn't understand, like, this is what you have. So I ordered a tomato sandwich. I'm like, what's a tomato sandwich, right? And it literally, but you were right when you said the bread. And then fresh, I mean, garden fresh tomato and a thick slab of mozzarella cheese.
With some olive oil.
And a little bowl of olive oil and basil on top. And then I got a half a glass of wine. So there was some Tuscan wine. So that's one memory. And the other memory, I was trying to find a phone booth and I found one because I was trying to call my husband. But it was call the husband and battle the massive palm-sized spider over the door. Or don't call your husband. That was a really tough moment for me because spiders and I are not friends. And it was like this. It was just flat right above the doorway. And I'm like, I'm going to walk under and it's going to fall right at that moment. Yeah. So I called my husband. He has no idea the sacrifices I made for him that night.
Spider didn't bite you.
And the spider did not bite me. It was probably perfectly, they just look so menacing.
Yes.
I didn't realize Italians had such menacing spiders, but they do. So, okay. Well, that was an interesting.
No, I didn't include that in the book.
I know. I was just saying, you should have called me, Robin. I
should have. Give me your best research. What are your best tips? What can happen to these women?
Spiders in the phone booths that are massive.
And the really young readers are going, what is a phone booth?
Oh my goodness, you're right. Oh, that's so sad.
When I went to Italy the first time, when I was in college, I went with my girlfriends. We backpacked through Europe for 3 months, and we had everything was lira. Each country still had different money, and so we had liras. And then the change were so many small little coins. If we just got a cappuccino, then they would give us change in candy instead of coins because just weren't minting enough coins. So then the next time I went, my husband and I went, and our kids went with us, and they were grown up, and it was euros then, so it was a different system. But when I was writing the book, I had to learn so much about what has changed, even that, every year things change. And the biggest surprise was that to enter Venice, unless you're staying in a accommodation in Venice, you must pay to get into the city of Venice.
Are you for real?
I'm for real. And I believe that is in effect with Rome as well now. And it's for day use because there's just so many people. It's just taking such a toll on everything.
I guess that sort of makes sense because in a way it sounds awful, but it's their version of a theme park.
Mm-hmm.
Like we charge to get into a theme park to do a whole day, and that's what they've got. It's their history and culture. But wow. Okay. How did you find that out?
In the book? I know. So I'm typing along and I go, well, maybe I should just Google that to make sure. Oh, wait, you can't, you also, what was the other thing that was so surprising? Oh, in Florence, I had them going to the food market, like my girlfriends and I did way back in the day.
Yeah.
And they get some food and the same sort of thing you're saying, like, we just want bread and tomatoes, real tomatoes. And we'll just go sit on a fountain somewhere. But it's against the law to eat openly outside if it's not at a... Okay, good thing I Googled that.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm sure by the time the book comes out, there'll be 3 things that have changed since what I wrote, just because travel has become more accessible to people around the world.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more with the crowds and limited accommodations, and all the prices go up. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, I know you well enough to know that this isn't just a book about traveling in
That's true.
Italy and food and cooking and gelato. Let's go back to that. No, let's not. Let's keep moving. So, what else is going on in these characters' lives? Because I know that Robin likes to go into those deep, thought inspiring things about the Lord and what brings us closer. So, take us a little bit into the spiritual journey.
I wanted to, for a long time, to write about a woman, like I was saying, that season of life where you're just sort of sifting out
Mm-hmm.
and you look at the big chunks in the sieve of what's, and sometimes when you do that, there's these like memories from the past or issues that you bury deeply. And so for Claire, she had the way I describe it in the book is that she chose to walk away from the table, in essence, meaning the communion table, the 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 church, the body of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
But she and Grace still have this very close friendship, and Grace is in a solid place in her faith, and
Okay.
that doesn't deter her from her relationship with Claire, who's like, nope, don't talk to me about that. I don't want to hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that Claire is able on this trip outside her normal routine to really see and open up and share what happened to her in
Mm-hmm.
her teen years and the deep pain, and then to be able to write about showing a really best friend coming alongside that pain and feeling it with her
Mm-hmm.
and embracing her and affirming that, yeah, so that there can be a breaking open.
Right.
Again, the communion, the breaking of the bread, the body broken, like the
Mm-hmm.
break open those secrets and let there be that healing, the blood that heals, so that
Mm-hmm.
that communion picture is in there. And it was challenging because I had so much to say. Writers have this problem. Like, I know what she needs. I know what to say. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen people in this situation, and here's her thinking error. And you want to just give a little message, but
Yeah.
it's really the strength of writing a novel is just showing and making it feel so real that this character really is coming to this understanding of what has been hidden away
Mm-hmm.
and opening up and then experiencing without the friend being you should do this, you should do,
Right.
but
Yeah.
the friend just being, oh, it's so hard to watch her going through this, but I know something she has to work out. And
Mm-hmm.
then for that moment for Claire to be like, I see, I know
Yeah.
what's real.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the spiritual message running through it. And Italy, come on,
Right.
every cathedral you visit, every art,
Mm-hmm.
the story of the gospel is through
It's
there.
everywhere.
And
It
to
really
really be
is.
able to focus on the art where Christ is the Redeemer and he's coming
Mm-hmm.
back and
Mm-hmm.
vengeance is his. And just to give the whole picture
Yeah.
of what God's story is.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And I love that in the sense of a relationship, like you were talking about between two women, that community, that friendship. I was actually thinking about something similar the other night because um, just a situation that I've been a part of, and you hear these broken stories, and if you are I don't want to say the healthy one, but if you're in a healthier place at the moment, my
Mhm.
instinct is to go, okay, here's your bullet point list on how to fix this, right? Or you have the cliched verse, or there's the like, oh, well, have you thought about counseling? Or all these little things that you want to throw out to fix. And I was in this situation and I was like, Lord, give me the words to say. And I'm thinking, fix some words. And all I heard him say was, just listen,
Yes,
just listen. And I
just
felt,
be there.
I even got done and I'm kind of like, well, I don't think I really helped very much. And then
Okay.
later you find out that was what was needed, is just that person to not try and fix it.
Yeah. to really be a true friend is come alongside and that
Mm-hmm.
empathy and to just be there.
Yeah.
And of course, pray, 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 pray.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, Grace, who realizes on the trip, I'm pretty much a people pleaser, aren't I? Like I
Ah.
want everybody to be at peace with each other. I want everything to work. And life is chaotic. And so this is a great journey for Grace as well
Mm-hmm.
in her own arena to just let it go, relax.
Yeah.
You can't, don't be afraid all the time. Don't let fear make all those decisions for you because you think somebody's going to be upset or that's not the right decision or well wait maybe we should do this instead of this or will we
Mm-hmm.
have enough time if we just just experience, and that's what travel does to you. It's always chaotic, and so you just have to learn to go with the flow and
Right.
be really in the moment so you
Mm-hmm.
can observe what's there. And
Right. Right. And it does it. Travel has a way of thrusting people together in small places, unexpected
yeah,
situations, and all of that, where your real colors come out. You're unguarded. So if you're a worrier or anxious or you're frustrated, it gives an opportunity for those relationships to really be tested.
it does. It truly
Mm-hmm.
does.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for us. And then when we come home, it's like, oh, this version of me is much more fun to live with. I'm not always trying to control everything or be, advising everybody. It's just
Right.
let's see what God's doing
Yeah.
and join him in his work. Because the Blackaby premise.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. So, were there any things in this story where you were putting them in a situation where you're like, okay, this is A, extremely funny and adventurous, and then B, it still applies to the spiritual story too. Like, did you have
Yeah.
some of those situations that you were weaving together with your word
Yeah,
magic?
kind of going with that theme of
Mm-hmm.
that we're all invited to the table.
Mm-hmm.
We're all invited to the table.
Right.
And they are invited to a dinner in Florence and they think, oh, well, did I wear the right thing? And so they tour Florence for the day. And then these people that they've met that invited them, no, come, here's the address. We'll see you there at 6 o'clock. They
Mm-hmm.
show up and it's this large building with long tables set inside. And they realize that this is a soup kitchen and they're there to help serve the homeless of Venice. I'm
Oh,
giving away too much of the
no, you're
story.
not, because sometimes you need to know a little bit of that to say,
Yeah.
I really want to read this book, because that gives you a teaser. So,
And so for
yeah.
both of them
Mm-hmm.
to see someone in I almost said in real life. Oh yeah, these characters aren't real. But I mean these things I have been to these kinds of
Yes.
situations where it
Yes.
does, but that these people that they had one opinion of,
Mm-hmm.
and that they turn out to be these most God honoring, um, uh, generous giving in secret kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like, oh, we really like that couple and they invited us to dinner and we just want to be around them. We don't
Right.
know that it's the fragrance of Christ that leads us to
Yeah.
want to be around them.
Yeah.
And so then they get in this situation and they are the ones who are helping to serve. And then it's time for them to eat and they're directed with their host. Just they sit with at the table
At the table.
with and then listen to those stories
Mm-hmm.
and the someone's translating for them and how they all got to where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah. That's good. And that's accurate too, and I know you don't want to give any more spoilers, so you don't have to talk anymore. That's fine. But it is accurate when you go overseas too, because you do meet people. And that was
mhm.
something that it sounds dumb, like there's people over there. Uh, you actually meet them. But no, when I went overseas, I wasn't expecting to actually develop a potential relationship
Yeah.
with someone when I'm on vacation. And that story reminds me a little bit of my sister-in-law and I were in Switzerland and we were going to St. Allen's. They were having, it was like a political day holiday. So there were going to be parades and all. It was so cultural. It was nothing like we would ever see in the U.S. We get on this train, and there's this elderly man who had to have been in his 80s at least, sitting across from us, but he spoke really good English. And we started talking. He was a retired professor, and it ended up, he took us the whole day. The whole day he stayed with us, and he explained all the ins and outs of culture. And then we talked about the differences between the Protestants and the Catholics in Switzerland, and all the different stories. And he took us for espresso, and but you get those moments where you're like, you're going in with one expectation, and then when you do have that seat at the table with somebody that you wouldn't necessarily have sought out, the world just becomes this beautiful array of people that God's created. And you're just like, wow, that was such a blessing. And I'll never forget him.
No, that's so good.
It's just,
no, I love it.
It's just so cool. It's so cool.
Someone had asked me once with the Sister Chick books, which are also about travel, and then these books, because they hadn't really traveled outside the U.S. And they said, well, the only thing I don't really agree with in your books is that you could actually go somewhere and meet someone who lived there, and that they would be nice to you, and just exactly what you just described. And I said, actually the things I wrote in the books pretty much all have happened in some form to me, or that I draw from an experience. And yes, you will experience that if you get out of your comfort zone. You will find, and that women are like around the world.
Yes.
We all have that same women's part. And I love talking about that in the books, where they'll start up these conversations and then just feel like, here I thought Italians were so foreign, and that they're just like us, and have the same life issues.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think at the root of it all too, we've all been created in God's image. And so he puts that same need and desire for community, fellowship. And ideally, if it's centered around him, it just becomes, I was going to say magical. It's probably not the right word to use in that situation, but I think you know what I mean. It's just beautiful.
Definitely do. Yeah. And that we're all invited to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you have that bigger picture, not like, well, it's just us and we're right and we're insulated, and because we have to protect, but it's like the Lord invited us all to his table.
Yeah.
Will you RSVP and come or not? It's up to you.
That's a great way to leave the podcast. I love that. Will you RSVP and come to the table? That's great. I love it. Well, the book is called Gelato at the Village. Comes out
at the Villa.
Yoo-hoo. It was such a beautiful moment there. I was doing so good.
Thinking about your Switzerland village.
I was. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right back there.
I'm in Switzerland now, but this is about Italy. Gelato at the Villa is the name of the book that comes out in August. The author is Robin Jones Gunn, so I got that right, I think.
And the villa is where they stay in Tuscany for the cooking class, and so fun.
Oh, and there's probably spaghetti involved.
Oh,
or pasta.
Pasta extravaganza all through the book.
The pasta.
Which is why I said I was going to say she gained weight reading the book.
That's very valid. I think I'm gaining weight just thinking about reading the book.
Sorry? You're not sorry.
No, don't be sorry. If you're going to gain weight, that's the best way to do it when you're reading a book. I mean, there's no better way. Robin, thank you so much for being with us today. This was so much fun.
Thank you, Jamie Jo. It's so fun to always talk to you.
And that's a wrap for today here at Madlet Musings. I hope you join us again. And if you want to, be sure you like and subscribe here at your favorite podcast player or on YouTube, because you won't want to miss all the wonderful alerts that let you know when we have another conversation for you to eavesdrop on.